In the interest of time, I didn't fully record the entire process of just putting some roots in the ground. The raspberries and jostaberries are going to be the exact same burying in the dirt process as the mulberry was. So if you want to see that, you can go back. But I do want to show you an alternate watering method and the amount of water I ended up putting on the mulberry. So you can see that there's some runoff that had started to occur here. This soil's real soggy right down to here. So one of the methods that I use to make sure that water is getting right down where the roots are for a new planting is give the baby a little greenhouse thingy and push it into the soil far enough that it allows quite a bit of water to collect inside. That's up to here with water, if you can't tell. And that allows it to seep down in slowly. I've been quite surprised that doesn't actually cause any disease. You would think it would, but I've been doing it for years and it doesn't. So these ones are on really runoff-prone soil. See that? And that's because this is compost, which is basically a topsoil. So, but it should be loose enough that I should be able to just put the cover right down on right away. I'm going to start by putting a decent amount of water in there. And then just, oh, I pushed it down. That wasn't in frame. So I've got a decent amount of water in again. And I just want to make sure that this isn't going to lift up. So I'm trying to get it in full contact before I add more water. And this will allow the water that I give to this plant to actually go into its roots, rather than run off and form a puddle in the pathway, basically. We've got one more here, and it's the one that has the little plant marker around it. These plant markers have sizings, so right now I can leave it at this size and it'll stay on. But if it gets bigger and I want to still have it on there, then I can squeeze this way and slide it so that the keyhole catches on the next notch. So I'm going to just go ahead right off the bat here and sink this in this way. I see a little canal back in the back here, so I'm going to go ahead and, now you see the water starts to puddle in the front. And now it's running down the hill. Alright, so what we're going to do next is put a little bit inside. That ends up being quite a bit. And then just make sure it's settled in real good so that it has a seal in the soil and is going to allow this to fill up with water pretty good. Let's see. Getting it to actually end up inside the bottle is also a bit of a trick sometimes. So then down here, you'll notice I didn't end up bringing out the hose. I couldn't find the extension hose right away. And yeah, so I just went ahead and got out the watering can. Besides, it's going to be below freezing again tonight, so that wouldn't be good for the hose anyway. Alright, so you can see that that puddle I just poured on is sitting water on top, which shows you how saturated this is. Also, something I did here was, oh geez, there's all these plant roots from other plants in there. Something I also did was I had forgotten about height of planting, and so what I did was I went ahead and pulled up, while fully saturated in the soil, pulled up on the stem itself, poured a bit more water, and then put steps around. So this had been buried to here, and that's not right. So I pulled it up a bit. It's a nice thing with this soil saturation is you can change your depth of planting rather readily. And so I can see that this was, pretty sure that was the planting depth, just because of the branching that's happening right there. So I'm going to push it back around again, give it a bit more water.